This is Terry Barnett, and I'm sitting here with Nick Muchagrosso because I wanted to get his insight, maybe some stories from him on this topic. And I'm going to go ahead and set this up by just telling where this idea came from. Is I actually saw a video come across by a loan officer, and she was talking about how, oh my gosh, please hire a realtor because it is such a pain during the process for everybody involved, the title company, everybody involved, whenever there isn't somebody looking over the project. I consider a real estate transaction like a project. There's nobody really looking over the big picture of things.
Sure.
And it can get messy, and you want somebody with experience and the license to do so to tackle things. And in this case, the loan officer was talking about how the parties to the transaction were trying to have her correct things and have her help negotiate all of these things that she is not licensed to do. She brings the money. You bring the money.
That's right.
That's what your part in the transaction is, not to fix contracts, help negotiate, those kind of things that the buyer and the seller would need to be doing. That's what a real estate agent stands in for. But you had a couple of examples or a couple stories on that fed into this.
Yeah, so we were catching up over text and basically a few things, right? So yes, I'm not here to negotiate. You do not want me negotiating on your behalf. I know how to read a contract, but that means I'm not licensed to fill that out for you. And also, this is a big one too. Sometimes people will send me their building inspection. I don't really look at inspections. That's not really part of my role. I just make sure it's good enough for insurance. So if you can send me your inspection, but the inspection I've really only looked at the most is my own house. Everyone else, I don't look at your inspection because that's not really within the role of what a loan officer does. So I have a very specific story. This was quite a while ago, but we had some clients, and I'm not just saying this because I'm sitting next to a realtor. I truly believe this. You should be using a realtor when you buy or sell a home. And I met these clients at an open house, and of course I encouraged them to work with the agent who was in the open house with me. And they were like, no, we're going to get a deal by going through the listing agent. And essentially, there was some vagueness in the contract with regards to closing costs. So the buyers ended up paying about $2,500 more in closing costs than they would have if they had just gotten a buyer's agent. And guess what? 95% of the time, the commission is negotiable, of course, but it's still traditionally paid by the seller side. So what they thought were they were getting a deal, they ended up paying more. And if we had a buyer's agent, we probably could have fought for that because it was kind of intentionally vague, but nobody was looking over the contract for them. And from my eyes, it looked fine, but the title company and the seller's agent had the end of the day had to say, so they lost out on money trying to save money. So do yourself a favor, that extra protection, even if you bought a ton of homes, it never hurts to have somebody in your corner taking a look at everything. I'm happy to help, but my scope is not that wide. So
Understood. Thanks, Nick. That's good. And so with that, obviously, I would love to be your agent. I would love to represent you. But even if it's not me, get a realtor involved so that you have representation. Both sides of the transaction should have representation, somebody in their corner, somebody helping them throughout the process. It's not going to matter to you at first. You're going to think, oh, well, I don't need somebody, until you're right in the middle of it, and then it's already too late because you haven't set that up to begin with. All right? Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening, and talk to you soon.
thank you.